Hi, this is Paladin with DarthVader.com and IHateYouComputer.com. Just giving you a brief overview of my home lab here that I'm using for a few certifications as well as continuing education into my responsibilities at my job. Here I'm using Cam Studio, which is a free Windows desktop recorder. It is open source and GPL, so it is able to be used for personal use, and in their statement that you can also use this for commercial use, as shown in their FAQs. You can obtain this from camstudio.org. Downloads, runs on XP, Vista, Windows 7. Great program, great product to use, and if you have the extra cash, I suggest donating to keep this alive. It's been around for a while. Want to keep it around for a little bit longer. There's your free advertising, Cam Studio. Show the love when you come out with if you ever come out with an enterprise version. Just giving you an overview, we run a flat domain here. My domain is the Gotham.jax domain. If you take a look here, here is just a standard set command run from command prompt, just to give you an idea of what we got here. Right here, this is one of my main workstations here. I named this Valkyrie, and we're using a little bit of folder redirection on the network. We have some drives that are automatically mapped here, and some group policy mix mashed in here to automate some settings, because I have probably about 15 to 20 machines here at the house that I use for various purposes, anywhere from Windows 98 on up to Windows 7, and have some Windows 8 virtual machines in the works. Whenever Citrix gets gets the ball rolling in that a little bit better. Of course, we all know that Windows 98 doesn't work with GPO, for those trolls out there that are just waiting to leave comments in the comment section to tear me up. Moving on, as far as domain controllers, I have two. I have a physical and a virtual domain controller. And as far as network, we have a mix mash of appliances here. As far as routing and my gateway security appliance, I am using Untangle. Untangle is a wonderful product. It has 3 versions: a free version, a standard version, and then some type of platinum excellent version. And I think they also offer an educational version too. This product does everything from web filtering to intrusion protection and prevention and detection, down to phishing filters, and it scans for viruses, and also scans for incoming and outgoing stuff. Maybe if you got a computer that got infected through something that slipped through, it'll detect it if it has a signature or a rule built for it. Untangle has a nice control panel, unlike some of these other unfriendly products, Avaya and such. Here you have applications or virtual devices that you can drag over into this rack here. You have packages, which include multiple devices, obviously, and then you can have little individual ones that you can purchase or try trials for. Here I'm using the standard free version because I am cheap. Works pretty simple. You have your appliance. Usually you can pretty much tell what it is from the title, Web Filter Lite. Obviously this filters out mature content, violent content, based off of settings and rules. The neat thing about this is if you have to do something, or multiple people have to do something, or if it's blocking something, you don't have to go in and turn off a bunch of rules or do this or that. You can simply turn the device on and off by hitting the power button. That disables that device's features and functions, and it doesn't mess around with anything else. You're good to go. One particular thing is when I am doing advertising on some of my sites, which you should go and click and buy lots of stuff so I can have lots of money so we can keep making these videos, is ad blocker. So I keep this turned off whenever I'm doing work on the site, particularly with advertising, making sure things are showing up right, because this will actually strip the ads out of the HTML that comes back to the machine through the firewall. And it's cool because you don't get bombarded with a bunch of stupid stuff when you go to various resources where people over-advertise on sites. Kind of great to remove the clutter. Of course, we have spyware blocker, spam blocker, phish blocker, and we have some application control, which you can use just to throttle certain applications or prevent applications by type getting in and out and stuff like that. And we have specifically the firewall. It's self-explanatory. I'm pretty sure I don't need to explain that anymore. Intrusion prevention. This works both ways, incoming and out. It does show you some wonderful statistics, basically how many sessions it scanned total, and this is per period of reboot or per period of monitoring, which you can configure in settings. Tells you what your current sessions are, and does that for pretty much all the tools here. You can see what your current in and out is right now. You can see how many sessions you have, what your CPU utilization is, as well as memory. The machine running this box is an old Hewlett-Packard computer. It's a Pentium 4, 3 gigahertz machine with 1 gig of RAM and a 40 gig hard drive. I stuck 2 off-the-shelf generic 10100 NICs in it. Worked out of the box, worked fine, configured well. It can be configured to send you reports in PDF format. Lots of neat things such as the most visited sites, anything that may be against your policy, like if you have a kid at home or if you have an employee that decides they're going to go to Lemon Party or some other wonderful educational site into physical human contact. It will appear on that report, and you can drill it down to even an IP and do whatever tracing and tracking you want from there. Doesn't matter. And it also just kind of shows you bandwidth usage and how much attacks you have, and some of the most notable attacks too. Very, very powerful reporting engine. That's usually it's usually a feature that most people accept this into their environment that I tell them about just for that feature there alone. Even if they don't run anything strict and stringently, that kind of gives them an idea of what's coming in and out of their box. In a PDF, it can be scheduled to come to you once a day, once every hour, once a week, once a month, whatever you want it. It also does have some additional controls too, directory connector and policy manager, where you can link it with your AD stuff and control things based off of that. A captive portal, which is a nice, powerful little tool. I'm sure you've connected Wi-Fi somewhere like Chick-fil-A or whatever, and as soon as you connect, it opens up a browser on your phone or your tablet or your laptop, and it basically asks you to accept terms and conditions from this little welcome portal page. Well, this is pretty much what this is. You can configure this basically any way you want it. You can configure it for a range of IPs, a whole network address, whatever you want to do. It's very flexible. Of course, it does IPsec VPNs. This is, of course, your feature that you, if you have like Sonic Wall in your organization, this can be used to connect to that and basically be like a Sonic Wall for that. That is a paid product. You have to purchase that. It's cheaper than Sonic Wall, and you don't have to deal with the stupid licensing and support and maintenance contracts and stuff like that. They do a good job at supporting you after you purchase their product. My particular favorite, OpenVPN, because OpenVPN is awesome. It's free. It's got a ton of support. You can install it on damn near anything from an Android to an iPhone, laptop, tablet, whatever. And of course, Attack Blocker. This basically picks up on signatures and heuristics. If I'm saying that right, I never heard anybody say that word out loud, so I've been saying it for 20 years, and I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. So if I'm not, then oh well. This is a big favorite product of mine. I love it a lot, except for when it blocks traffic from Akismanet. I believe that's what it's called, because then your YouTube app on your Android phone doesn't work, and your wife yells at you over and over and over again to fix it, and you forget to fix it. And I should probably fix it now, but I'm moving on to the next stuff. On the network, we run a DFS path. Right here we have our sysvol and netlogon folders, as well as Gotham Library. Gotham Library is our default DFS path. Here I have several items configured: documents, home, media, org data, and tools. Documents, self-explanatory, user profile, documents folder, my documents folders that are linked. Home folder, which is another folder that's automatically linked. Media, I have a group policy that pushes this out as a drive mapping to all the computers on the network. So whenever me or the wife need to get on any computer and copy files from a digital camera, we can copy it right to our images folder here, and make sure everything's backed up. Same thing with video and gaming. I have a lot of emulation stuff going on. Org data is where I keep my primary organizational data for lab purposes. I also install files and such, and I do have some redundant folders inside here as well. Operational data, I keep a lot of the website stuff in here, and have that mapped out for a couple logins that I use here on the network. Moving on from DFS path, I have a file server. My main file server here is Atlas. You may wonder why I have, when I go further down this video, why most of my machines are named after Batman characters, but this one's named after Atlas. I went through a BattleTech phase. Can't judge. BattleTech's awesome. It's cool. Batman's cool. I'm sure if Batman had the choice, he would have an Atlas AS7 or Atlas AS9. I would. But I host all my file shares off of here. I also use SolarWinds Patch Manager. I'm currently writing demos and tutorial, or I'm not demos and tutorials, but I'm currently writing a demo for them and resetting that demo every 30 days or so. I use ActiveAt Hard Disk Monitor, which I need to re-register my keys in here because I have multiple hard disks inside this computer, so I like to keep those under tab that monitors the health. This is not a fancy server or have an ILO or a DRAC or some type of crazy monitoring device that constantly pulls smart codes off the drive while the machine's running. So I use ActiveAt. $5, monitor ton of hard drives on a couple computers. Very good product. I suggest you go there and purchase that, and if the people from ActiveAt are looking, I really like your stuff, and you should totally send me a free license for your file recovery tool. It's great. On here also I have just a compact SQL 2K5 server that supports SolarWinds, and it supports a couple other things here on the network. I'm not going to give that away because if you're looking at this, you could probably attack me and this, that, and the other thing. So, gentleman doesn't tell everything. Moving on from the file sharing, we've covered over the domain, the network, our file sharing, our DFS path, our appliance for the network, and last but not least, with a nice sized network, I'm saying it's a big network, we want to kind of keep an eye on certain key boxes. So what I have here is I have a server monitoring tool called PRTG. PRTG offers a free version as well as some corporate enterprise versions. Those are extremely powerful. I love them. You get a little goofy with credential loggings when you're going from Windows and Unix systems if you don't do your credentials right, but I'll let you handle that and figure that one out on your own. It's a very powerful system. I have 2 or 3 of these servers running in the network because I can only have up to 10 what they call sensors at a time. And I'll just give you a brief example of some of these sensors. The neat thing about this is that you don't have to go through and build sensors. It will automatically detect services and machines, and you basically kind of create what it thinks that you would want it to have, and it can be a little nuisance, but you let it sit there, sniff out your network for a couple hours, and you come back to it and just turn off what you don't want, and you can turn it off at any level, the individual level, the group level, or I'm sorry, the individual level, which I could pause an individual sensor here. Like I have a ping sensor, I have an HTTP sensor which checks to make sure you can get data off of port 80. Web data in particular, DNS, and FTP or RDP. You can pause any one of these or a couple of them at a time, or you can pause everything on the server, or you can pause everything on the server group. Very neat and very handy, especially when you only have 10 probes per PRTG server. Particular, I use this one for monitoring a lot of my web stuff that's out on the internet. I have I Hate You Computer and Darth Vader monitored, as well as a couple intranet sites here, and the device itself monitors itself as well, lets you know when its hard drive and memory are getting full. Very, 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 very good, useful tool. I like it, and I do use it at work. We are very big fans of it at work, and it does have a tendency to spam if you set some sensors up bad, but that's nothing a little elbow grease and late night server admin can't fix. Moving on, going over some of my specific servers. Robin is my main domain controller. As you can see, my wonderful legal agreement, Ermagers, Haxers are attacking my MEMS for the win. Some wonderful text here. You can pause the video and read this now. It's very informational. You may learn something from that. Just going over my directory structure. Here I have Gotham.jax, my flat domain. And then you have the built-in stuff that comes here, computers, built-in domain controllers. I also have my main OU structure, where I have Gotham computers, Gotham servers, and Gotham users. They're all three separate. And being that we only have one site, I did not need to place these in other containers. We do have other sites planned, and we do plan on joining this underneath another site as well. That's down the road. I have the computers in particular split up: desktops, laptops, and Windows tablets. Of course, you do know that Windows 8 is usable both on a desktop and a laptop or tablet. The reason why I have that separated here is because you do have some user preferences that you can control in group policy that may be a benefit to a Windows 8 machine, but may have absolutely nothing in the world to do with a Windows 7, XP, or Vista, Windows 2000 machine. You know, you've got a lot of different things. You've got different interface. You've got a complete touch interface. You know, a lot of accessibility stuff. So it's nice. I think it's a good idea to keep that separate, just planning for the future. I have, of course, desktops and laptops split up in between, or split up by operating system. Of course, we have Apple, Linux, Windows 2000, Windows 7, 8, Vista, and XP. Don't really worry about the Apple and Linux stuff. We'll go into Open Directory another day. From here, that's basically the bottom level. Laptops are set up the same. I have Gotham servers. We do have some Apple hardware here in the network. You know, again, we won't worry about what we use that for right now because we're not using it. We just put that there to plan for the future. My servers, I have roles based up. I use Hyper-V and Zen here in the network for virtualization. Great when you need a machine, you can spin it up, destroy it, spin up a copy of the backup you made, destroy it, and do whatever you need to do on the lab. Very adds a lot of agility to your learning and such. So Linux, Unix, again, Open Directory, don't worry about that. And then Windows. For the Windows stuff, basically, you may wonder, well, if you have a Hyper-V, and why don't you put that under Windows Service? Well, don't worry about that. we have some stuff planned out here. Haven't quite finished what I'm going to do, but I just knew I needed to have that separate. Just for settings, because I want to kind of handle things like system updates, interfaces, and performance things. I want to kind of handle that differently than I would a regular Windows server, because with a Hyper-V, one of the popular things to do is run Windows core or server core. So kind of wanted to keep that separate. Of course, you can run Zen nested under VirtualBox or many various products. So we kind of wanted to do the same thing with the performance tweaking on a Windows 2008 machine if we were running a nested Zen server, and we would do that for Linux machines. For Windows Server, I have those also separated up into kind of roles. And basically by operating system, File services, I want to kind of keep those separate too. Server 2008 to the R2, and planning for server 2012. We don't have any 2012 servers on the network yet, but we are working on planning that. Users, of course, I have groups administrative. We have Florida. Our second site we're planning is going to be in Texas eventually. So we're going to eventually have another OU popped in here for Texas with the same folders underneath it. Moving on to group policy, we have default domain controllers, default domain, which these two are pre-canned stuff that come in. Just kind of give you your basic password failure stuff where you have to lock your account or when your password expires and such. We also created a domain admin user policy and what we call the Gotham civilian user policy. Civilian user policy, we just refer to this policy as basically regular users on the network. And of course, here is my resultant setup policy for that, and we have some different policies that we have to link. Our server 2008 R2 policy to configure some automatic stuff that should normally be configured, just so we don't forget to do it during our server build process when we're building machines quickly in the lab. Virtualization, that can hurt you because you rush through things because it's so damn quick. And we have, of course, our GPO where we link our WSUS server, which I showed you earlier. Atlas, that box, also runs WSUS, Windows Server Update Services, to push out Windows updates to all the machines and to handle those particular type of tasks. Of course, we have some policies blocked under the administrative OU for Gotham users because we don't really want to have any restrictions on our admin accounts that go in there. And of course, we have remote access set up to automatically enable that on our laptops, desktops, and our tablets. Servers, I tend to like to configure those things manually because some of them I don't want people RDPing into. I don't want RDP access at all. Moving forward, we have Nightwing, which is a virtual machine running on our Zen environment. Nightwing is pretty much a one-for-one clone of Robin. We have, after Nightwing, Riddler. Riddler is, of course, you've heard me mention Zen. Riddler is our Zen desktop box. It's basically what you refer to as a controller or a broker. I was recently told that the term broker is no longer being used by Citrix, and the term, or the correct term for that, is controller now. I still like the term broker. It sounds cool. Deal or no deal sort of thing. While that's loading up, we're going to move on to, now mind you, I did not build a very beefy machine for this. It's just kind of barely holding itself up. I got one processor and a gig of RAM for it. Here is the, you're familiar with the Windows legal agreement screens. Here is the Citrix legal agreement screens. Holy crap, you're totally logging into some stuff. It will most likely break your computer, steal your credit cards. It is also full of Draculas. For the win. Here I've done a little bit of customizing here to my login page. Normally you'd see Citrix and some other stuff up here. Right now we have AxeCop. Freaking awesome. You should go read it right now. Written by a 5-year-old, drawn by his 20-something-year-old brother. Damn it, you just broke everything. So yeah, when you arrived here, you just broke everything. Congratulations on ruining Christmas. Now nobody's getting any presents. Obviously, I rushed through this. I was probably lacking sleep, so I misspelled congratulations. Here we can go ahead and log into this. And we're presented with a couple machines that I have set up to connect. Actually, it's 2 machines. One of them I've just added 3 times to this. Don't ask why. I copy, paste, whatever. Here's a bunch of crap that you can use. I'm so glad you worked so hard getting it set up, Slacker. Hey kid, I'm a computer. Stop all the downloads, help computer. Obviously from the G.I. Joe Fensler film. I couldn't think of anything else witty to put in the footer, so let's be honest, you stopped reading this crap 2 minutes ago. And I'm lucky if you still have, if I still have your attention. We'll go ahead and log out of this, and that is all for Riddler. Then we'll go ahead and go here to Zen Center. Of course, I have free Zen Center. I need to activate my license keys on that again because I rebuilt my license server recently. Here in the Zen Server environment, I did have three hypervisors. I did take that down to 2 because I needed a computer for something else. We have Gotham Zen, which is our main hypervisor, AMD 6000 dual core with 8 gigs of RAM. That's basically the 6000 that's pretty close to the Opteron. As you can see, it's rock solid, up 67 days. This machine's running 2 servers. The backup domain controller Riddler. I also am running a NetScaler VPX appliance off of this, which I'll go ahead and start that bad boy up. I also on Gotham Zen 1 is basically where I keep all my Windows VMs. Gotham Zen 2, I keep all Linux VMs. This is a 939 processor on this machine. It's got some decent power. However, it does not have VTX capability, so I can't run Windows virtual machines on this. So just run my Linux stuff. Here are a couple machines. The license server, which we did recently rebuild. We've got a console here, which looks like we might have to rebuild it again. I bet you I'd probably just go ahead and reboot that, and should be fine. I may have just lost connection to the shared storage that I had that virtual hard disk connected on. Again, this is a home network. I don't have a cool fiber channel SAN unit. I have NFS and ATA 66 100 gig hard drives, so don't judge. Gozer is nice, happy little Linux box here. As you can see, I have been pinging Nightwing for a long time. Linux is ping command by default, obviously, as you know. Once you start pinging, it will not stop pinging until you tell it to stop by hitting Control-C. And I transmitted a lot of packets. I left this running from a self-inflicted denial service attack, trying to crash a service here on the network for fun. You should try it yourself. Not on my crap. I will own you. Of course, we have another virtual machine, Egon, here. Egon is a template machine that I use. And I have some storage devices right here, a CIFS share for my Windows and Linux operating system ISOs, and Goth VHD, which is basically an NFS storage repository stored on Atlas, the file server. So Atlas has got a pretty beefy job handling the DFS paths, handling all the network storage, profile storage. So he's got quite a bit of hard drives and a couple NICs in them to help handle all that stuff. Moving on from the Zen server, we also have another server here on the network known as Penguin. Penguin is a MySQL Lite server. It is running Debian 6 32-bit. It's just a AMD Athlon 1700 with 768 megs of RAM. Yes, I could probably virtualize that for less than it costs for the power, but I'm very sentimental to that box, and it's always nice to have some bare metal in your network, even if, you know, and I put a 125 watt power supply in it, so it's not really big power draw. It doesn't have very much hardware in it, a single 80 gig hard drive, processor, RAM, and a motherboard. That's it. It's got an 8 meg video card,